Irving Game of the Week is brought to you in part by Gerald Stavely Dry Cleaning.
Tonight from MacArthur High School, it's a season opener for both the Cardinals of Mac and the Gophers of Grand Prairie. And good evening, everyone. Mid-November, John Nelson and Rob Woolman will come along here in just a few minutes, getting ready here with a final tape job. The Cardinals last year, 27-9. There's a look at Grand Prairie. The Gophers a couple of years ago had a winning season for the first time in over a decade. Tom Inman guided this team last year to a 13-17 finish. He's in his sixth year. The Gophers out of District 8-6A. Mac, when we last saw the Cards, it was a bi-district matchup against J.J. Pierce, in which they won 54-46. The Cards out of District 9-6A. Myers, Alexander, Bond, Salinas, and Harris starting for the Grand Prairie Gophers, 4 seniors. The Card will start 3 seniors and a couple of juniors. Mac has 3 returning starters from last year's squad that averaged 65 points a game. We're just about set to tip it off here in the season opener. And Rob Woolman, it's all yours.
All right, appreciate it. MacArthur in the white uniforms, the Gophers in the blue. McGinnis against Harris jumping center stage. Harris wearing number 32 for the Gophers, the 6'7" senior, the tallest member of anyone out on the court tonight, and jumping center stage, and the ball's controlled over by Booker. Booker doing a good job there of controlling the loose one. He'll be guarded right in his face by Myron Myers, the 5'7" senior. Gophers with a couple of small guards from the outside corner. The lefty, which is strange, he misses one shot, and it comes out to the guard, Myers. The Gophers won this game last year against MacArthur, as we get a charging foul against the big man, number 32, Shanti Harris. That'll be his first personal.
Working on Kendall McGinnis, number 24, and just got enough of him to warrant the game's first foul, just 24 seconds deep.
Be a key matchup. You got Harris at 6'7" and a senior, and Perkins, or McInnes, 6'2" and a junior. Another turnover. Back comes Myers with the basketball. Myers with the pull-up. Missed everything. Ball fought far and controlled. Over to Jones. Jones the breakaway.
Andrew Jones, and Rob, we didn't see the true Andrew Jones until late last year. He was injured much of the regular season.
Jones is the team leader at the breakaway, and women and children first. There he goes with a smash.
And he's grown an inch, I'm told.
Yes, he is. He's grown during the offseason, and practically every D1 college within shouting distance knocking on the door, hoping to land Jones as their prize recruit. So it's 2-0 MacArthur, about a minute gone by here in the opening quarter. The Gophers playing in one of the toughest districts in the state of Texas, with Duncanville, DeSoto, Cedar Hill all in their district. Harris, an outside shot. They gave him the three-pointer. And it's 3-2, and the turnover. The left hand missed by Salinas.
They want to try to get the ball in the hands of Harris tonight, Ashante Harris at 6'8".
And a three-pointer made by Kenny Cooper, the 5'11" senior. A little spark plug there. He has matured a lot in the offseason, the coach told me. He says, you pretty much seen this guy for 4 years, haven't you? And I said, yeah. He says, he's finally a senior. And we've got a turnover against the Gophers, a 5-second call, as the Cardinals did the job defensively to force the turnover to Grand Prairie High. I was saying earlier that the Gophers defeated MacArthur last year by 1 point. MacArthur fans will say, not so fast, Mr. Willman, because we think that game should have been tied. There was a mishandling of the scorebook, and they believe it should have been 64 all at the time instead of 64-63. Meanwhile, this is Jones weaving in and out, trying to get a pick from McInnes. Jones feeds inside. Strange with the reverse. The lefty misses. And the rebound by the big man, Ashanti. Being pestered with about 3 Cardinals all around him. Gets it off finally to Chris Alexander. And the feed to Salinas. The miss, the follow-up, and good by Bond. Bond, one of 2 players that Coach Thomas Inman pointed out to us before the ball game that he's going to rely on to run this team. His team is full of seniors, sophomores, and just 1 junior. As you take a look at Coach Inman there roaming the sidelines, that man is a character. Sit down and talk to him for 5 minutes and you'll be laughing.
And McGinnis stepped over the baseline, trying to inbound it, and had a half a foot in play and a turnover.
Cardinals trap here on the near side. Myers trying to work free, and he gets some help in the backcourt from Alexander. 5-5, tied up. Just under 5.5 here in the first quarter of play. Great pace, fast pace. Don't know how long this will keep up. Salinas grabs that one. First game for both teams. And a foul as Myers trying to go to the hole.
Zay Booker on a push down, team foul number 1. Assist to the Cards. Coach Inman, Rob, he likes his team. He said this will be a fast, up-tempo team. He likes his defense this year, and that's what Toby Martin expects out of Grand Prairie, is a very tough defensive squad.
Watched him during a scrimmage recently. That was his one opportunity to scout the blue and white. Well, we can already see here in the first couple of minutes that Harris is pretty much the go-to guy for Grand Prairie High. You throw it to him out of bounds, you give it to him the top of the key. He's not shy about putting up anywhere, and coming down with the rebound is Jones, number 10. And boy, can that guy leap way over the rim with his hands that time, grabbing the rebound defensively. For MacArthur, his sister, first season at Baylor after sitting out of here last year. Had an injury, left Duke, homesick, came back to the state of Texas.
You leave Duke?
Leave Duke. It's a long way from Irving. Fast break, 2-on-1. Pass over to Booker, can't handle it, and it goes out of bounds.
The Cards, the district champions last year, their first outright title since 2004. Toby Martin in year number 5. And Rob, down the stretch, no team was harder than the Cards last year. Won 14 of their last 16 games heading into the playoffs.
They were fun to watch as they made it all the way to the finals in Austin, bowing out to Plano West for the second time in the season. They lost to Plano West earlier in the year. Both times they lost by 9 points.
That's a hold on Kalen Bond, number 14. Team foul number 3, and a quick timeout taken by the Gophers.
Yeah, 32nd time as Coach Inman wants to settle his kids down a little bit. All we've seen from them, we've seen Harris. We've seen a lot of Harris. Bond had that one putback. Meanwhile, Jones had a breakaway slam, and Kenny Cooper with a tray from the corner. That's been our scoring. Low scoring affair. Again, this is the first game for both teams for the season, so you would expect a little rust. In fact, MacArthur lost 9 games last year. One of those was in district. One of those, of course, the very last game of the year. So that gives you 7 losses before the district season started. 4 of those losses was by a grand total of 5 points. So they were even in it when they lost early in the year.
And again, as you said, losing to the eventual state champion Plano West squad.
This is Jones being double teamed, now even triple teamed, and he just goes past the entire group and slams it home. And a technical is going to be called, I think, on Jones. Or is it going to be Harris?
Well, he hung on, well, maybe a little long, but that's a keeper from the early get-go.
Oh, this is fun. Watch it again.
I don't think he stepped on the defender. He takes off at about 10 feet out and a one-handed throw down. And did he say something? I'm not sure.
No, the tech, I think, is on Harris. The tech is on Harris because Inman is, it appeared the official is pointing at Harris. And I see Coach Inman really chewing on the ear of the officials just to our right. Or nope, Harris is coming back, so it had to be on Jones.
So the basket goes.
Yep.
It's 7-5. That's a highlight keeper on the season opener. A 10-foot flying can opener.
And they're going to send Bond to the free throw line. They call him a wing, but he can also be a forward, the 6'4" senior. And the first of 2 is good. And he'll try to equalize on the next free throw.
And they could take the lead because they'll get the ball. As you see, Coach Inman, a former assistant at Arlington Bowie. Again, the Gophers out of District 8 6A. They were 2-10 last year in one of the toughest districts, bar none, in the state.
So Bond makes both the free throws. We're back to a tie game, and the Gophers will inbound. But
well, the crowd's still buzzing about that Andrew Jones one-handed slam.
I don't know. It's a fact. I would dare to say not hanging on to the rim. If he thought that maybe he would injure the other player, they usually let you get away with that. Right. Meanwhile, Harris with the follow-up, he now has 5 points. And the Gophers are up by a pair, closing in on the 4-minute mark. The first quarter of play. Oh, we're having so much fun. Cooper over to Booker. Booker waits, spins, makes his move. I believe Myers helped him up a bit. And they're going to tab Myers with the foul. Between Myers and Alexander, they list them at 5'7", 5'9". They both look about 5'5" to me. Ocampo, a 6-foot sophomore, will now come in, and Salinas will check out as the Cardinals will inbound. Strange over in the corner to Booker. Got it! The 5'8" junior with a 3B in the corner. MacArthur by 1. Under 4 minutes to go, first quarter of play. MacArthur still with the defense, right in John Nelson's coconut. Sorry, I should have saved that for you. I thought you had a beat on it.
Well, it's one of those things when you add a player to the scorebook, and wouldn't you know, by the time you write in number 20.
John, look up! Ah!
You get an earful right below the right earpiece. No harm, no foul.
So the Gophers will inbound, and now we got an explanation of the official telling Coach Inman, stay in your box. You've got an invisible box. You've got to stay next to here. He's kicking around like from the chair down, Coach, from the chair down. All right. Inbounding will be Alexander. And back to Myers. Myers, what we've seen so far is definitely the ball handler. Gets the screen from Harris. Back to Harris up top. You know, he really doesn't post up low, does he?
Not really. He's about his comfort zone.
Strange had the rebound. Jones goes the distance. Boy, he gets hacked pretty good underneath the rim. And Ocampo will pick up his first personal foul and go into the free throw line to shoot 2.
Ocampo just held him down about 3 seconds. That's a 5th team foul.
That'll bring Andrew to the free throw line to shoot a couple. Well, we've already seen that he can leap out of the gymnasium when going to the hoop. Free throw number 1 is good. Checking in is Bryson Grant, 5'9" sophomore. Myers will take a seat for Grand Prairie. Jones with one more toss. Jones told his coach his goal this year is to make everyone a college player. That means he wants to make everyone rise to the occasion. He wants to dish as many assists as he can. But right now, it's been his show. He's had a great game. Ocampo feeds inside to Harris. Harris is slapped maybe by Cooper.
Yeah, going to get Cooper. That's a 3rd team foul. You were asking Coach Martin, Bob, about how many going to play tonight? Going to be all seniors? Is it going to be a mix? And he said, the best 5 I can have to begin the season.
And he may not substitute or may not play everybody. Walker checking in. We saw Montrell during the football season on ICTN. Congratulations to the Cardinal football team making postseason. Lost one to North Mesquite a week ago in by-district. This is Strange. He came off the bench as a number 7 or 8 guy last year. He's a starter this year. Jones having the mishandle, and we got a timeout very quickly by Coach Martin to our left. Saw that his player Jones was in trouble and called a quick timeout. Want to know if it's a full or a 30, and it's going to be a 30-second. Mac with the ball and a 1-point lead here in the first quarter, and boy, the action is fast and furious. The JV MacArthur boys won 50-42 against Grand Prairie High. That one was close in the first quarter. And if you recall last year's bunch for Irving MacArthur, they were a fourth period team, a fourth quarter team. Made the difference in a lot of their wins. The one win against Skyline was a big fourth quarter splurge, and those Jesuit wins the same way. They were a strong team in the fourth, and we'll see how things play out in this one. There's the assistant basketball coach's little girl. We saw the coach waving at her during the JV game.
And again, Mac, a preseason favorite to finish fourth in the state this year. DeSoto was also ranked high in the top 5.
That's the way they're picked going in, and why not, based on what they've done.
Team out of Houston ranked number 1 in preseason. North Crowley, the champions last year from District 4 6A.
What is that, Atascocita?
I was going to let you try to do a 5-syllable.
It's one of those things you could mumble. That's no fun.
Yeah.
All right, back in play. That is Booker. Booker handling it at the point. Waits. Strange back out to Jones. And Jones telling Strange, come give me a screen. And boy, the Gophers, I can tell, their main objective is to try to draw some sort of foul on Henry. Every time he goes to the paint, there's a Gopher there trying to draw the charging foul.
And that is the 6th team foul as Ashante Harris wipes up a spot in the lane, and they'll play it in underneath the goal here.
Caleb Clark, 6'3" sophomore, checking in for Grand Prairie High. I believe it was Caleb in warm-ups, slipped on the floor, almost pulled a muscle. He came up gimpy leg for a few minutes. That would have been a heck of a way to start the season. Three-pointer, Walker, first shot off the bench, made it count. Redbirds up 15-11.
Team three-pointer number 3.
Double team across the timeline. There's Harris to bail things out. Another 3-ball, side pocket, Bond. Second three-pointer for the Gophers. There have been 5 three-pointers in all in the first quarter.
Harris and Bond have all the scoring, 7 each.
Well, I expected that out of MacArthur because they are a long shooting team, and Booker with another three-pointer. They don't have Hawley. He's now playing ball in Tarleton, and he was their big man underneath. So Coach Martin told me before the game, you're going to see a lot of times you watch us this year, we're going to be shooting from the outside. Harris missed one, goes on the loose ball, and we've got a tie-up, I believe, between Jones and Harris on the floor. Possession arrow pointing toward GP, and it'll be the Gophers to inbound. Under 2 minutes, first quarter of play. And a hot shooting game by both teams.
Yeah, 32 points here in the first 6+ minutes.
We've seen a half sometimes at this mark. Harris, nice shot, nice. Really a good shot. Good shooter for a big man on the outside, 6'7" senior. Booker. Kind of just yo-yoing in and out and trying to draw the foul, didn't get it. Grant pushing it back for the Gophers. Over here to the near side to Clark, and the ball is lost. And MacArthur will get possession.
Well, the pass was behind Clark to begin with and had no chance to recover. Too far to reach down.
Yeah, maybe a little too early for MacArthur to go for the final shot. Jones, baseline, went for the jam, didn't get it. Steals it back, 3-ball, yes.
Well, he can feel it, can't he?
Well, they said that there's not a spot on the court he doesn't feel comfortable. And he's got such a nice, smooth shot. It's fun to watch him play. Ball almost stolen by Booker, nice hustle. Booker along with Johnson trying to double team on that far corner. Robert Johnson now in, the 5'10" junior. Not superstitious, wearing 13. Inbound. Far corner. Clark gives it up. Out perimeter. Little 5-footer rattles home by Bond.
Soft touch inside.
9 points for Bond here in the first quarter. And let's see if MacArthur holds the ball. No, Booker's going to take it. Johnson way high for the rebound, and he is fouled from behind by Oscar Ocampo.
He got underneath Ocampo initially to get the rebound, and Ocampo came back and got him just enough to pick up team foul number 7.
Last season, MacArthur had Hawley, the big guy with a big wingspan and a lot of nice rebounding underneath. They had some also power. They had some power guys underneath clearing the boards, and TJ King would come up on occasion and push people around, and they had guys that could get the rebounds. And this year they're going to have to go on just speed and quickness more so than strength and size. Second shot, nothing but net for Johnson. He is now 2 for 2 from the line. The Gophers in no hurry to get it across the timeline. Broke it nicely, Clark. Ocampo with the head fake. Jones wasn't buying. And I believe they're going to get number 1, Walker, with a reach-in foul with a little over 13 seconds to go in the first quarter of play.
Montrell wore number 17 in the football season, and a single digit as he had last year as a sophomore.
Clark working baseline, triple teamed. Ocampo left alone, and Ocampo with his first bucket of the game. Time winding down. Johnson can't get a shot off. And we finished one quarter of basketball. 43 points in the first quarter. Rob Wilbin with you, along with John Nelson courtside. Irving MacArthur High School, watching the Irving MacArthur Cardinal boys take on the Grand Prairie Gophers. First game out of the chute for the 2015-2016 season. I think it took us a while to get a MacArthur game in last year just because of the way the schedule worked its way. We got them toward the end of the season, and then we got them really at the good part of the season because, man, they caught fire down the stretch, and they were fun to watch.
Henry. Are we going to hit 80 tonight? Are we going to hit 80 points?
Do we get free tacos? Do they throw out free taco coupons? All right, Jones back to the free throw line. 9 points in that first quarter. Now he has 10, 3 for 3 from the line. Bond also had 9 points for the Gophers, and like John said, only except for Ocampo, there's only 2 players to score, Harrison Bond, and second shot is good on the free throw line. And Coach Inman pretty much told us it was Bond and Harris, they were the 1-2 punch, if you will, scoring for them. Harris not out there right now, so Coach Inman going with a smaller lineup. Three-pointer from the corner missed, loose ball. Jones with a nifty move there to try to keep it in play. And then he runs into the scorer's table trying to save it. And he draws a foul in the process.
Almost broke Wally's watch on his left wrist.
And Caleb Clark cited for the foul, and coming back in for Coach Martin is McGinnis, the forward who started the ball game. The Redbirds play pretty much 3 guards and 2 forwards. The Gophers, they go with more of a traditional lineup with 2 guards, 2 forwards, and a post because they've got the big guy to do it. Jones to the line, and I can tell you right now, game 1 of the season, mark my words, if you want to come back in a hurry, and if MacArthur is trailing, have Jones try to draw fouls and get to the free throw line. Mr. Smooth Shot hasn't missed one yet.
Team is 8 of 8.
Yeah, he's 6 for 6. And MacArthur with a 7-point lead early in the second quarter. Ball knocked out of bounds. McGinnis, quick hands, started the ball game, got a quick foul. Coach Martin put him on the bench, saved him. Now he's got him back out early. But that was the thing, John, last year. They were so deep on the bench. They could 7th, 8th, 9th guy coming out on that team could contribute. That's what made him so strong last year.
They had T.J. King, of course, Donnie Belcher.
Yep.
Bush.
Three-pointer, boy, nice shot there by Bond, his second three-pointer of the night. Jones to Booker. Jones the pull-up. Oh! Second tray for Andrew.
Yeah, what a season opener here.
Man, smooth as silk. Three-pointer missed. Ball comes out high. Booker with the rebound. Booker double team, don't want to go across the timeline. Gets it over to Johnson. Johnson pulls up. Far side. Jones left alone, and he's human and misses one after all. Harris with the rebound, limiting MacArthur to just one and done there.
Second 7-point lead for Mac tonight.
Another three-pointer in and out by Bond. Jones a no look. Booker, the southpaw. Cooper with the rebound and pushed a little bit. MacArthur fans want a foul called against Alexander.
Not much of one.
As you take a look at the reaction courtside, but it was a mammoth box out. Myron Myers over the timeline. 7-point, I believe, the biggest lead for MacArthur, and a sweet little shot by Myron Myers off the glass.
The late Chick Hearn would say this is windshield wiper basketball, back and forth, back and forth.
Oh, Chick. He's got a million of them, and he should. He's a million years old. Just teasing. Guy's greatness. Oh, Cooper tripped up, and I think by McGinnis, his own man. Number 24 was setting a pick. Watch Cooper. Watch 24, top of your screen. See, he lost his balance. If you wouldn't know better, you'd think he did it on purpose, like it's their own guy.
The right foot heel slide.
Yeah, it did. It took a slide, and Cooper took a slide. So a turnover against Mac. And Myers comes back across the timeline. Again, they like to use Harris to set that screen. Baseline, Clark double team, really no one to go to, and I think he stepped on the inline, and MacArthur will get the ball back.
McGinnis influenced that in his face, and Cooper had nowhere to go. That's nice.
Yeah, there's Johnson there one way, McGinnis the other, and just stepped on the out of bounds line. Cooper was held up before the shot, and Chris Alexander is going to be tabbed, number 5, with the personal foul.
And that is the 10th, and an automatic two-shotter. The double bonus.
That could open things up for MacArthur if given the opportunity. Kenny's first shot, true. They go with that three-pointer. 5 Cardinals in the books tonight, scoring in the first half.
10 of 10 from the line.
Bond is in, Harris is in. Those are the two that usually do the scoring. Clark is in. Go over to Myers, over to Alexander. Baseline, and good by Bond.
He paid for it.
Oh. Bond is a scoring machine. Johnson with the harm and the foul.
Oh, these teams, Rob, for the season opener are so quick. This is a very good season opening game. Two fast-paced teams, and they do like to score. There's the swipe by Myers, kind of side-swiped him there, and that is the 11th team foul.
Right in the kisser. Got him right in the kisser, and you jinxed him because they've now missed a free throw.
10 of 11. Okay.
Almost at the halfway point of quarter number 2 here on ICTN. Thanks for tagging along tonight. Myers with a 4-pointer almost. There's Cooper in the far corner. Pushed out of bounds by Harris. And they may put him on the free throw line.
Well, that's a long, Booker got away with a long 25-foot pass that could have been picked off or turned over, but as it is, the Cards go back to the line. Almost a third of their points here in the first half have come from the free throw line.
Second foul on Harris. We'll keep an eye on that because That is the strength of their team. Cooper now 3 for 3 from the line and about to shoot his second. And yes, Harris will sit down immediately after picking up number 2. And Chad Jackson, the 6'5 senior, in his place. Cooper's second shot, nothing but net.
Oh, it's just, as if this team has been locked in the gym all summer and for most of the fall. And they played basketball every day.
Maybe they have, John. Jones, quick hands in the steal. Jones, the no-look pass. Johnson off the glass and good. Robert Johnson, 6 points coming off the bench. A little spark there for the Cards. We've got about 4:03 to go before the break, and a timeout by Thomas Inman, because I think he was noticing that maybe they were going to start losing things a little bit. This is a full timeout for Inman, who coached at Plano High School, won a state championship. Replaced Stan Hicks, who was the head coach at Grand Prairie High, ironically, at Plano. And here he is now going to Coach Hicks's old alma mater, who Hicks coached there at Grand Prairie High back in the 80s. Had some playoff teams. Plano hired him away.
You didn't know you were going to get earful of Grand Prairie City history and Plano and Grand Prairie basketball history also.
Didn't know that. District last year, this is how things stacked up. MacArthur, Skyline, Jesuit, and then Nimitz snuck in. You know, Nimitz had a really good finish, even though they lost that by-district game. That was a very entertaining game.
Same 4 teams made the playoffs in football this year. Those top 4. Nimitz losing to Highland Park in the by-district round last week.
Wasn't quite the blowout I had expected for Nimitz. Made it respectable. All right. After the timeout, let's see what changes, if any, Coach Inman has made. Salinas is back in there now. There's Salinas in the paint, kicks it back out. Myers looking for the 3 ball. Not there. High in there is that Johnson? 5'10" Johnson up amongst the trees. McGinnis. There's Johnson. Has it blocked. Boy, you can't fault him for his hustle.
No, nice block from behind by Salinas.
Yeah, Salinas good position, just a little taller, a little higher. Myers on Cooper. Cooper shutting him off to the right side. Bond, this is a wide open 3-point shotter. Booker gets it to fall.
A glide and a stride and count the basket. There's Booker, and the trail man is Alexander. No question there. It's just a matter of does it get over the rim, and it does, and fall through. And the lead now at 13.
Yeah, they always say speed kills. Well, that is definitely the case here in this ball game. As MacArthur with the wheels, taking it to the hoop. As a team now, MacArthur have missed just 2 free throws, which is pretty darn good in high school ball. The missed shot. Ball is tapped around, and I believe stepping on the end line is Booker.
Just got his back heel over the line, trying to get that fast break started.
The Gophers have, it's like a stair step. They've got some 6'5s and 6'4s and some 6'7s, and then they've got about 4 or 5 guys he calls the Smurfs that are just like 5'7". In the corner, Salinas with the miss. McGinnis rebounds, and Jones will push it across the timeline, slowing things down very quickly. Mr. Cooper misses. McGinnis fights for the rebound. It goes off his hands as he was fighting Chad Jackson for the rebound. Coach Toby Martin and the MacArthur Cardinals.
Cards have 6 3-pointers here in the first half. Their varsity roster this year, 6 seniors, 4 juniors, and a sophomore. Gophers have 7 seniors and a junior.
Just 1 junior. We jokingly said senior day next year will be very quick. To the hoop is Bond. It's another basket and draws the foul. Bond is pretty much taken charge offensively for this Gopher team. Saw a lot of Harris in the early go, but Harris he's now in foul trouble, so obviously he can't be on the court, but that's when you have to have someone else take over. And look at Bond with 16 points tonight.
He and Harris have 25 of the 29.
And swings that one in for the three-point play. 10-point MacArthur lead. Really don't need to be in any hurry whatsoever. And Coach Martin said, let's spread it out. Let's put everybody in a corner and milk the clock a little bit and work on the ball handling skills. And then Jones just takes it to the hoop, misses, fights hard for his rebound. It's like a hot potato. And it goes off the hands of Andrew. Andrew had that leg injury last year. Didn't get to come back until, gosh, what about a couple of 2 or 3 games left in district, but he came back just in the nick of time when postseason started. Rifle shot. Did it go off the hands of McGinnis? No. Chris Alexander tried to weasel that in, and now I think
he deflected it.
Yeah, McGinnis. I thought maybe McGinnis had touched it, and it'll be the Gophers' ball. Coach Martin might not agree with it, but I think McGinnis might have touched that. Inbound, rejected, but a foul called against Bond is the shooter. Jones the foulee.
That'll be the 6th team foul on the Cards. One thing the Gophers need to improve on this year is their defense. They gave up the most points of any team in the district last year. They allowed 63 points a game.
Well, they just try to get in a shootout. Bond, first one is good. Jones will take a rest. Strange will come in. Johnson stays in. That's Johnson, number 13. They flip-flop the positions. Johnson will come out. Probably run the point. As Kalen looks for another free throw. He hasn't missed. He's 5 for 5.
19 points for the senior.
We've got a couple of hot shooters out here with some great shots and stroke, if you will. Fun to watch them both. Cooper. Bring things out a little bit as Bond is on him. Cooper running the offense over to Booker. Booker and Cooper. We talked about those two a lot last year in the backcourt. Cooper dishes, corner, Johnson, good.
Well, Johnson was in one corner and Strange was on the other side, and Johnson had the better look at it.
Closing in on a minute. Three-pointer by Alexander, his first of the ball game, and has a stare down to the MacArthur bench.
Yeah, he didn't waste any time looking over to our left. We saw it.
Well, the bench is actually like, within an arm stretch of the court, so.
Yeah, it's dangerous down here.
Yeah, I'm sure you get a lot of yelling and name calling, perhaps. Johnson probably get the travel called against him. He had a little smile on his face. He knows it.
Started to the right, ended up on the left. But still a 7-point lead.
Yeah, 4 3-pointers for the Gophers. 6 for the Cardinals. And maybe the Gophers will opt for the last shot. They can cut it to 5 or 4, depending on the shot, before the break. No one's forcing the issue, so the ref will not count it down until they get close and start making a defensive move, and then that's when they'll start counting it down. Bond open for 3. Hits a side iron. No one blocked him out, but it goes out of bounds anyway. And with 7 seconds to go, Mr. Henry comes off the bench, and McGinnis will sit down. I've got a feeling perhaps Mr. Henry will take this on his own. If you're the Cardinal brass, you're saying, okay, Andrew, just don't get that charging foul. You see the time on the clock. From 3, hit the iron, and Booker can't get that one off in time. So we finished the half. Boy, what a fun half indeed. With MacArthur on top, 42-35. Let's take a break. We'll come back for the third quarter in a moment.
And welcome back to Irving. MacArthur, 42-35. Cards on top of the Gophers in this season opener for both teams. Mac opened up a 23-20 lead at the end of the first quarter. A lot of three-pointers on both sides. The Gophers nailing 3. That's Kalen Bond. That's Ashante Harris, 3 of his 9 points. And then the follow-up by Bond, who had 19 points in the first half. The Cards have Zay Booker with 2 of his 3-pointers. That one from Beltline. I mean, that one from way downtown. The Cards had a lead of 7 on 3 different occasions in the two-handed throwdown by Jones, who had 16 points. And here's a highlight one early in the first quarter. He also got a technical foul, but Andrew Jones with 16 points in the first half. The Cards led by 11. Bond with 19, then all of the rest for the Gophers. And Andrew Jones, Booker, and Johnson with 32 of the team's 42 points. The Cards eventually led by 13. They outscored Grand Prairie 19-15 in that fast-paced second quarter as Coach Tom Inman wanting a little more defense and some more stops on this hot shooting Cardinal team who buried 6 3-pointers. They were 12 of 14 in foul shooting. And just about set to go mid-court for the second half. Myron Myers will get it underway, Rob.
All right, John, one change in the starters from the second half from the first, and that is Robert Johnson in number 13 in place of McGinnis. He earned it, too, with his 8 points coming off the bench in his hustle. And there's a move by Alexander. Second basket of the ball game, now with 5 points, and a good start for the Gophers there, because they do need some sort of support from their backcourt scoring-wise. It's just been 2 players pretty much scoring all the points. Strange misses his first shot from the outside. Myers rebounds, feeds over in the far corner. Salinas drawing the foul, and Salinas will go to the free throw line.
Strange couldn't hold up as Salinas gave him that head fake, and not much else you can do.
Came over and tried to grab and block the shot at the time, out of position, and, well, maybe not in the act of shooting. So that's a good deal for Irving MacArthur. I was expecting more of a in the act of shooting call. Harris, he goes to the line, and a blocking foul against Kenny Cooper.
Harris changing hands, and Cooper waiting for him underneath. He didn't think he was set that long.
Cooper hoping to draw foul number 3 against Harris.
Well, I guess he was set that long.
I've said this all my life, the charge, sometimes one of the more difficult calls in any sport for an official to make.
Grand Prairie a perfect 7 of 7 in foul shooting in the first half.
Harris, who started off very quickly and then was slowed down in the second quarter, hits his first free throw.
So you wouldn't want to be a back judge in football to call the pass interference?
I think I could call that better, and I could have charged. So he makes both the free throws, and the Gophers have cut this down to just 3 points. MacArthur looking to score, and with the three-pointer is Strange, rattling it in from the far corner, and
we have some jawing or some kind of lip service On the way back down court, a technical foul has been assessed to the Cards.
I believe it's going to be on number 5, Eli Strange.
It is on Strange.
And Coach Martin wants an explanation of such. Kind of reminds me of when Jones did the slam and, got everybody going, and then he got the technical foul. Bond, meanwhile, back to the other end. 5 out of 5, and I jinxed him. 5 out of 6. MacArthur fans will say, great. So these officials are calling a tight game. That might be an understatement. They're not letting anybody get away with any sort of taunting or jawing or whatever you want to call it after a play. Bond makes 1 out of 2 on the technical, so the Cardinals have been hit with a couple of tees tonight, 1 in each half. But a big basket for Strange, and a big by meaning they get MacArthur on the board to start the second half with this three-pointer. Myers with Booker on him. Bond left wide open. Did he travel? Let's see.
Steps.
Yep. Bond's a little, like most players would be, a little shocked over the call, but shuffled the feet before the shot. And a turnover against Grand Prairie High School.
A three-pointer could have made this a 2-point contest.
Yeah, they're still within striking distance. Cooper over to Jones. Wait to see if Jones tries to take charge. He can take over a game single-handedly. He is that type of player. Boy, what a matchup right here. Bond guarding Jones. Ball missed. Cooper to Jones in the corner. Strange again rattles Johnson with the rebound, and he's going to be fouled. Going back up by Alexander. Alexander not believing that, but going to the line will be Johnson.
First team foul assessed to the Gophers in the second half.
Really impressed with this 5'10 junior and his hustle. He plays a lot taller than his 5'10 frame might indicate.
I had that problem.
Really? You played higher than your 5'10 frame? 7 points. MacArthur lead. Myers working left. Tried to hit Bond on the base. Bond couldn't put on the brakes soon enough. And MacArthur gets the basketball back. A little more deliberate. Slowing the pace down just a wee bit. Again, first game out of the chutes for both teams. Hope springs eternal this time of year. Cooper has it slapped away. Myers got his hand on that. Gophers aren't playing like a team who only won a couple in district last year.
No, just 2-10, 13 total wins last year.
Strange looking for someone to throw it to. Gets it to Booker, and Booker misses. There's Jones with the rebound, puts a shoulder in Harris and missed it. Harris got the rebound, and look out, John. That one's headed our way again. We were both ducking.
Kick it back into the play.
Harris goes down, and did we get a timeout in time? No. And a jump ball, possession arrow to the home team. MacArthur will get that.
Gophers open up district play on December 18th at DeSoto. They'll play another ISD team this week. They'll take on Nimitz later this week.
You know, that's just the nature of the schedule, but usually they'll play 1 or 2 games right around the holidays, and after that, they have a host of tournaments that most of these kids go to. Not a big Christmas break. They may get Christmas Day off, maybe half a day, and then it's practice or the Dr. Pepper, Coca-Cola. Duncanville has tournaments.
And Grand Prairie has one this year.
They do put one on.
Nice gym. Not a bad seat over there.
No, kind of like their football stadium. It's like a bowl. You know, it's elevated up for the stands. Good seat, like you said. Cardinals working around. Strange. Missed again. Look at Johnson. man. Call him Charlie Hustle. Jones missing the shot. Alexander, outlet pass. Harris just lost it.
Why would you make a pass like that? Your back's to the ball, and Alexander sends one high and wide to his left, and had trouble written all over it. They have gotten some stops, but the Gophers have yet to close the gap. What kind of pass is that? I mean, that's...
I think that's the indication is, or the intent, probably get it to your big man. Just maybe not patient enough to wait for him to post up or get in a position to where he could get him the ball. Cooper inside, little spin move lost. There's Johnson to help out. Jones, back to Booker. Jones waits, right inside the middle. Strange bounce pass. Johnson in and out. A fall-away jumper is missed by Cooper.
And Cooper went down hard. He's limping.
Took a hard hit. Stop, pop, basket by Harris. 4th point in the 3rd period for Mr. Harris. A 5-point game. All this back and forth, and the Gophers have just cut it to 2 points from what it was at the half, and we're over halfway through the 3rd quarter of play. Another 3-pointer by Strange, and this one he gets it. Oh, and he's going to get another technical.
Have we ever done a game in which there have been 3 technical fouls called? No.
I don't know if our handheld guys have a shot of Strange after he shot coming back toward the Gopher end of the court, but watch what he does with the hand gestures. Watch this. Does this, and that's exactly when he got the technical.
Just be content with a 3 and set up in your defensive position. They count the basket. So the Cards now have 8 3-pointers. I've never seen a game with 3 tees.
Bond misses his first. Well, obviously, either a new rule that I'm not abreast of, or something that officials just aren't letting you get away with, and that's just, a little showmanship, or however you want to slice it and dice it. But you make a 3-pointer, you might as well just turn around and take off.
What do they say? Act like you've been there.
And Bond 1 out of 2. It's now 2 out of 4 in the 2nd half. Strange will take a seat.
I'm not quite sure who they want to inbound.
I don't have a 23. Do you have a 23 on your roster for MacArthur?
I do not.
Wells, according to the scoreboard, Wells now in the first time tonight.
Yeah.
And a slam there by Bond. And you hear the MacArthur fans saying, hey, how come you didn't call a technical there for holding on to the rim? But it's not holding on to the rim. It's, I think, the facial expressions and what you do afterwards. Jones, 5 guys around him, and he draws the foul.
Well, it looked like a running back trying to split the linebackers and drew all kinds of contact. And he'll go to the line with the Cards leading by a nickel.
Look at this. Look at the blue jerseys around him.
Oh, man. 4 of them. And then closing from behind was White, number 3. Getting a little testy here.
Andrew misses his first free throw of the ball game. Interesting, he has not yet scored in the 2nd half.
Still with 16 points.
Make it 17 as he hits the 2nd end of that 2-shot foul. 6-point game. Oh, we're having fun. ICTN boys basketball. Close from the get-go.
Gophers have outscored the Cards 10-9 here in the quarter.
Johnson, nice hustle. Trying to take that one away from Edwin White. Almost did it. Man, I cannot say enough about Johnson and his play. How quick he has been. Both his quickness and he can jump out of the gym.
And he'll be back next year.
Chad Jackson, 6'5" senior, checking in for the Gophers. White, he goes baseline. Jones made him alter the shot a little bit. Harris to the hoop, and I believe that's going to be Wells, number 23, charged with the foul.
That'll be the 5th team foul assessed to the Cards in this 3rd quarter.
Bring Harris to the free throw line. He's been a perfect 4 for 4. And he misses that like they always do when you put that graphic up or say something. A few Gopher fans across the way, along with the JV that's been giving it the flair of a district rival game more than the first game of the basketball season.
Cardinals have won 8 of the last 11 games in this series. So they've had their way in the last 11 meetings.
Booker over to Cooper. Cooper just holds up. He drives. Nice little move. That first step gave just enough distance between him and the defender.
Well, he was not going to be denied. He's got 9 points.
7 points. MacArthur lead. White. Baseline. Bodies fall. Follow up. Ooh, nicely done by Bond. Bond there offensively for the putback, keeping the Gophers within striking distance.
He's got 25 points.
Cooper for 3. Bounces around, and Johnson, I believe, goes over the back of Chad Jackson. No foul. Or did they call a foul? Nope. Just a turnover, and last touched by Johnson. Timeout, Grand Prairie High, a quick 30-second variety.
Still outscoring the Cards 13-11 in this 3rd quarter, winding down with 1:33 to go.
District picks. We talked about this earlier. We thought it'd be the same 4 and 9-6A. Mac, Skyline, Nimitz, Jesuit for 8-6A.
And the Eagles, the Horns, South, and Duncanville.
Warriors and Panthers rounding out the group there. Some good basketball amongst those 8 teams.
Last week we had the Lady Vikings of Nimitz as they defeated Garland 54-45. We'll see the Tigers of Irving next week. Some kind of disruption in the seats behind us, I think. Everybody looking behind us. The Vikings of Arlington Lamar and the Tigers of Irving next week. District 4 6A will pay a visit to the Tiger Gym.
This is Grant, just off the bench. Pushed it across. Jones loses the handle. Harris to miss on the slam. A little looper is missed. Jones comes out amongst the pack. Still has 4 or 5 guys in front of him. Puts up a shot. Bodies flying everywhere. Harris on one side. And a foul eventually called against Edwin White. Meanwhile, Harris he's got a Charlie horse. Look at this, John.
Well, they had 3 chances, and then on the break, the off balance by Jones, but the reason why, almost had his jersey pulled off, and still awaiting Harris to work out that cramp. He's got that right leg extended. And now head coach Tom Inman out to look at his 6'8" senior. I say it's a cramp, I don't know.
Well, you know, they usually when they stretch the toe, push the leg back, you usually see he's pulling back on the shoe.
It's going to give the Cardinals a chance to huddle up here with a break in the action. But the concern now is to Shante Harris, who is away from the ball. Got that left knee wrapped. tonight with 14 points.
Missed out of this whole thing is the emotions spilling over a little bit by Booker. Booker, number 4, had to be restrained a little bit by some of the assistant coaches to calm down. Upset, I think, over the fact he was left all alone on the wing and didn't get the pass and get the opportunity to shoot the basket.
Andrew Jones will go back to the free throw line. The Gophers have been assessed 4 fouls. And Christian Salinas back in, number 24. 7 of 8 is Jones tonight from the free throw line. He'll have 2.
With a minute 10 to go, and everything is settled down. Harris now on the bench. And Jones rattles that home. Very quiet for Andrew here in the third quarter. Again, a reminder how this Cardinal team responded last season and always seemed to put together a strong fourth quarter. We'll see if that plays out in 2015. 3 out of 4 now free throws in the second half for Andrew. The free throws keeping a nice cushion for the Cardinals. White over here to Salinas, works it inside. Ball is tapped around. Corner shot is made by Salinas. His first 2 points of the ball game.
Jackson lucky to get that one back. Salinas was wide open, Kansas.
Cooper over to Booker. Booker, the lefty, in and out. And rebound up by Bryson Grant. So Coach Inman playing practically everyone on the bench. Bond left open. Oh, he's got a nice shot. Bond with 8 points in the second half, 27 in all. And he's brought these Gophers back within 2. Time running down in the third. Let's see if the Cardinals just bring everything open. Wells, Cooper on the baseline scores. And Bond at the buzzer, wide right. We finished 3, headed for 4. MacArthur 57, Grand Prairie High School 53. The final quarter in a moment. So we start the fourth quarter of play with MacArthur holding on to a 4-point lead. A lot of youngsters, a lot of little ones in attendance tonight watching the ball game. Why not? It's nasty outside. It started raining right about an hour before tip-off. Wells almost steals that one. And we'll see how things play out. Both teams pretty good free throw shooting teams. I would like to see if whether or not that MacArthur gets Jones back in to rhythm. He went to the line twice, made 3 out of 4 free throws in that third quarter, did not make a shot from the field. Ball kicked out to Grant. Booker on Grant. Cooper comes over to fill the void, and Grant is fouled and will go to the free throw line.
That is the 5th team foul. It was a good quarter for Grand Prairie, outscoring the Cards 18-15. And you're right, Rob, this is a good free throw shooting team tonight. 12 of 14. And now 12 of 15. That was the 3rd personal on Cooper tonight.
No one really in foul trouble that I can see, except for Alexander. I was blocked out. Did he make that free throw?
He did.
Okay.
3-point contest here.
Grant, 1 out of 2 from the line. Booker over to Cooper. Cooper with the head fake on Bond. Draws the foul and will go to the free throw line, and that is on Harris. And I believe that's at least Harris's 3rd foul.
It is his 3rd. He got around 1, and then Harris right there just
Oh, that was a
crashes into him.
That was a swat, wasn't it?
That will leave a mark. The Cards tonight, 17 of 20 in foul shooting.
Both teams, you know, for the first game out of the chute, both teams really well.
Again, as if they've been locked in a gym for 5.5 months.
Cooper, perfect 5 for 5 from the line. Boy, that JV game, man, we seem to, the whistle blew almost every 10 seconds. In that game, it seemed like Cooper.
Yeah, they had to trade whistles.
Yeah, Cooper now 6 out of 6 from the line. We get close to that 4-minute mark, and that's when all the possessions back and forth become so important.
3 Cards in double figures.
Myers back in. Jones behind the back with the left hand and count it.
Goes underhand, a little scoop and flip around Harris. And count it. And Harris is hit with his 4th foul.
Oh, that's going to hurt the Gophers. They have no one to replace Harris, size-wise, underneath.
Here it is as Jones closes a gap, changes hands, and just gets enough on it over Harris.
3-point play. That was his first field goal of the second half, and it came at an opportune time. Coach Martin said he can put the game on his shoulders and take over if he has to. And a foul underneath. And that's going to go against Wells, number 23.
Well, Harris was backing in and didn't give him enough cushion. And that is the 6th team foul.
Second on Wells. He just came off the bench here in the second half. Shot bounced around and missed by Alexander. Ball still on the floor. Wide open miss. Follow up. Count it. Bond. The guy's just everywhere. What an all-around player for Coach Inman in Grand Prairie High School. Booker and Cooper just kind of play catch. Jones in and out. No foul called. MacArthur wanted it. Didn't get it. Alexander lobs it up and in.
Didn't think he had enough on it. His 7th point.
I didn't think MacArthur thought he would do that. It just seems so nonchalant. 4-point MacArthur lead. With a little pressure by Grant, and Grant's going to be called for the foul.
And that is the 7th. Grand Prairie will bring Chad Jackson back in, number 4, a 6'5" senior. So 1-1 for Mac.
Yep, Booker goes to the line. Lid closed a little bit on that one. Missed his first shot. This is Alexander pushing over the midcourt line. Look at the Cardinals, double team. Somehow Myers gets around it, gets a great look. Ball's rejected by Wells as Jackson goes up for the putback.
He was too close underneath.
Yeah, and a nice series of defensive plays by MacArthur. After really not blocking out underneath, they come back to make up for it with the block.
Keep an eye on Chad Jackson, number 4 here.
Keep an eye on Bond.
What does he have? He's closing in on 30.
32 unofficially. Wells with the offensive board. Johnson, I believe, was fouled by Bond before the shot.
Yeah, it was on the floor. And That is the 8th on Grand Prairie.
Yep, Bond with 31 points. Been a fun night watching him. Jones will take a breather at the 5:35 mark. Want to rest him up for the home stretch. As Johnson goes back to the line and gets that one to fall. More substitutions coming out. Harris will come back in, playing with 4 personal fouls at the 5.5 mark. Coach Inman, I think, is resigned to the fact I got to add him in now. Johnson, another free throw. He's perfect in the second half. He's only missed 1 tonight from the line. A key element so far of this lead. Alexander with Booker working on him. The ball's controlled by Wells to Booker. The layup, 10 points now for Booker. Defense will win him for you.
Yeah, offense can be inconsistent sometimes, but defense can be so consistent.
Harris wanted the ball underneath, couldn't get it. He was posted up low. Nice move by Alexander. He's got 6 in the second half, 9 overall. And a foul that time as Grant goes over the back of Cooper.
A hold before the inbounds, and that, I think it's his 4th.
Well, with both teams being in the bonus, we're going to see some trips to the free throw line in this game as we hit the home stretch of the 4th quarter. Kinney, nothing but net. 7 out of 7. The quiet leader.
Silent but effective.
Four out of 4 in the second half from the free throw line. The lead is 6. Again, the Gophers' top 2 players, one playing with 4 personal fouls. That is Harris. Stolen away, another play defensively. Oh, what a move by Booker.
That was nice.
Booker the razzmatazz, and back the other way. Cooper going to be called for a foul in the backcourt on Myers. A push. Watch Booker again.
But here's Booker just to the left of the lane as he finds an opening around Harris. And very gently lays it off of the glass.
Jones will come in. Cooper will take a breather. And going to the free throw line is Myron Myers, who hit 1 field goal in the first half.
Is this his first free throw?
It is. And he's shooting the 1+. They list him at 5'7". Maybe.
Well, how big are the shoes?
Yeah.
How much height does he have on his Reeboks?
Jones goes high and tall for the rebound. He will take his time across the line. Grant trying to guard him. That's a mismatch right there.
Yep. I'll take that all night.
Yep. He just playing catch. Wells comes up to try to set the screen. They're going to call Wells with the moving screen not being set in time.
Does not result in a bonus as Jones starts to drive, and there's the contact at midcourt.
This needed to stop. The footer show closer. Baseline move and another whistle. If this is on Wells, man, he's picked up 4 in a hurry. Yes, it is on Wells, his 4th.
Each team now with 9 fouls.
See if Coach Martin decides to leave him out there. But Guinness is also in there, so he's pretty much got his rebounding group out there.
They could cut it to 6.
And he makes the first. 32 points now for Bond. Probably the unsung player coming in. Everybody knew about Jones. Nobody really knew a lot about Kalen.
Yeah, 34 points for this 6'4" senior.
Some college would take him. Try to get that over to Johnson, knocked out of bounds by White. A little bit more playing time here in the second half. Inbound play to Booker. Booker working on Myers. Booker, a little bounce pass over to Johnson. And they come back out top. Under 4 to go.
No reason for Johnson to pull the trigger there in the corner.
Oh, no. Wait for an open shot. Wait for a good shot. Booker drives, and they're going to call him for a charge. The Gophers are pretty good at that. That's about the 4th time we've seen the Gophers defensively draw the charge.
After the release, as Booker goes up, there's the contact. And the body lean, there's the flop.
See, that's what I'm talking about, calling that play. Look at the right leg was moving, right? The right part, the leg was moving.
Yeah,
so
that's tough.
he wouldn't even set. That's what I'm saying. It's tough to call. Harris really aggressive for 4 fouls. McGinnis working hard to come up with that. Here comes Jones. He breaks past 1 defender. Now past 2, now past 3, and if that's on Harris,
that's it.
That's going to be number 5 on Ashanti. And if so, a silly foul for the senior.
Yeah, because Jones is putting on the moves here, and there's the arm block. And he will leave us with 14 points. So one of the big guns is gone. Ashante Harris with 14 points and 3:19 to play. The lead at 6. 13 points here in the quarter for Mac.
You know, it's easy for me to say silly foul, but you're playing with 4.
You can go ahead and say it. That's
you're a big part of that Gopher offense and, more importantly, defense with the size underneath. And now Jones.
Almost a lane violation as Johnson left a little early. Now they're going to move him back out.
13th free throw attempt by Mr. Jones. Unlucky 13. He's 11 out of 13 from the line. He's going to get a lot of those free throw looks this season for sure. Myers trying to work on Jones and little out of control.
Oh, that's a travel. He took 3 steps before he initiated the contact.
Well, Andrew's going to be called for the foul. That is his 4th. So now Andrew is in foul trouble.
I really thought he took. Yeah, that's a travel.
Yeah, he didn't even touch him, did he?
No.
First shot good. Myers, and I believe Cooper's going to come in and let Jones take a breather with 3:07 to go. They'll probably save him for a minute and a half, say. MacArthur nursing that 6-point lead. Second shot is good by Myron. It's a 5-point game. The Gophers doing their best with backcourt pressure. There's Bond. Bond is playing with 3 personal fouls. Wells is still out there. He's playing with 4 personal fouls. Johnson over the timeline. He's triple teamed and loses the ball. Myers goes to the hoop, and it's a blocking foul.
Okay, one of those could have gone either way.
Yep.
You could see it coming. That is the 10th foul on the cards.
3rd foul on Booker.
Here's Myers. There's a big lead step.
Yeah, that's a block. See, it's easy for me to call the play when I can see it on replay with the speed at about 50%.
Well, TV's all about second guessing anyway.
Isn't it, though?
I'm no coach, nor do I play one on TV, but you're right.
King of second guessing. So here goes Myers. Hit his last two. Called on more to be a ball handler than a scorer.
He's got a short stroke.
You making fun of his height?
No, just a little wrist snap on the free throws. He short arms it. Alligator arms it.
Works for him, doesn't it? 4 out of 5. All right, 3-point MacArthur lead. You look up and the Gophers are still hanging in there.
Yeah.
3-pointer, good! That's one of those you go, no, 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 yes.
As it disappears, you like it.
Yep, Myers kicks it out high, and rattling it home was Grant. Grant with a shot from downtown, and it's 74-71 with 2:24 on the clock and a timeout call.
The Cards have landed 9 3-pointers tonight, and Grand Prairie good for 6. So Bryson Grant off of the bench here in the second half with 4 points.
How about a sponsor there, Mr. Nelson?
Well, that will be Gerald Stabley Dry Cleaning, rock steady through all these years. They just moved from one sport to another, and we're glad to have them here for the next 3 months in the basketball season.
Some of the players from last year, Josh Hawley, the big man, he's playing at Tarleton. And last year's captain, Donnie Belcher, University of Massachusetts, Lowell River, the Hawks. And Coach Martin told me that Donnie calls him quite a bit. Says, Coach, I miss your coaching. I miss your teaching up here. That, and it's really cold.
Yeah, it turned cold about 4 weeks ago.
All right, back at action. MacArthur by 3. They're going to double team Jones. Going over the back was Jackson. Knocked it out of bounds. Coach Inman thinking it should have been the Gophers' ball. And now Jones will inbound. He was trying to get it to McGinnis. So Cooper is in.
Who's on the ball? Bond's on the ball.
Jones trying to get to Cooper, does. And Cooper is going to be fouled by Myers.
Let's see, that is his 4th. Myers has collected his 4th personal, a double bonus down at this end.
Whether the coaches wanted to or not, almost everybody's seeing some action in game 1. Part of that because of the foul trouble, but just the ebb and flow of the way this game is going. Kenny Cooper. Again.
You like Coach Martin's dress tonight, the long sleeve white collared shirt?
Yep, cash.
Dark slacks.
Cooper, a perfect 10 for 10 from the free throw line. That's how you win ball games, making your free throws. Closing in on a couple of minutes here. Game 1 of the season. And what a fun one here at Irving MacArthur. Baseline feed, the slam by Bond. 35 points for Kalen Bond, the 6'4" senior. Here comes Jones. Jones, the bounce passing in by Johnson.
Was a nice handoff, just left it on one bounce for Robert Johnson. And Johnson with his 14th point.
And more importantly, Jones was in control with the dribble, didn't get the charge, pulled back, and got the assist. Nicely done. This is Alexander with the ball. Goes inside, no one's there. Missing the shot is Jackson. Missed the wide open. Oh, we'd like to have that one back. The pass trying to get over to Jones is stolen by Meyer. Gophers retain possession.
Well, if they're going to go deep or work it inside.
I think they're going to try to get it to Bond personally. And a foul or a timeout. timeout called.
Well, that missed layup by Chad Jackson, and they have a chance for redemption here. They'll have the ball and could cut it to 3. A three-pointer would make it a 2-point contest. The Cards here in the second half with 36 points.
Coach Martin is really working tonight on the officiating crew. You'd think this was the first round of by-district playoffs and not game 1 of the season. He is really letting him have it.
Well, Jones open underneath. Well, Jones on the bounce pass, and Johnson finishing it off. They weren't more than 7 or 8 feet apart. There's the nice white collared shirt. You're not supposed to wear white after Labor Day, but this one looks pretty good. White over black.
Johnson with 14 points off the bench. Jones with 23 tonight.
I know you're concerned about that dress code after Labor Day.
Oh, yeah, totally. Let me tell you.
There is an ICTN dress code.
I'm still holding out for the ICTN golf shirt.
Under Armour's working on that.
Working on a deal. All right, here we go. Closing in on a minute. Myers had his shot altered a little bit. Salinas with the putback. He misses. Jones comes out of nowhere. A spinning move. Breaks past 3. Takes it to the hoop. Score! 25 now for Jones. That's when you take control of the ball game. Just go coast to coast with it. 3-point shot or missed. Rebound lost. Cooper gets it. Bounce pass to McGinnis. McGinnis misses the open layup.
Didn't know what to do with it.
Nope.
Didn't know whether to cram it or lay it off the square. Well, we do have 80. I thought we'd get 80 tonight, and the Cards do have an even 80 points.
Oh, I wish we had a Coach Martin cam. The look on his face after that missed shot was priceless. 3-pointer from the corner missed. Loose ball controlled by McGinnis. McGinnis over to Cooper, and Cooper wants time. And the Cardinals get it with 15 seconds to go and a 7-point lead. Bond missed that 3-pointer from the corner, and we'll have a full timeout for the Cardinals.
Mack with 4 players in double figures. Cooper, Booker, Jones, and Johnson.
We'll have the Vikings from Nimitz against Hillcrest in a couple of weeks. We'll be back at Nimitz High School.
Well, the 3 officials in deep conversation across the way.
They're going, man, we've earned our money tonight. I need earplugs. I'm getting an earful. 15.6 seconds. You see the time. And MacArthur with the basketball. And Cooper's wide open. Oh, they missed him running deep, and another timeout by Jones. Says, give me time. Did he get, oh, well, maybe they're saying he didn't get it off in time.
5-second call. Robert Johnson was coming to the ball, but Jones just held on to it. Turnover.
Well, thought he had the time. Meanwhile, Grant will inbound. Grant working inside, goes off the hands of Salinas. And McGinnis is fouled by Salinas after the missed shot. You can tell a big drop-off in star power, scoring-wise, for Grand Prairie High. Of course, you've got Harris, who's strong inside, but Bond, he's the guy that makes things click offensively for Grand Prairie. And if you don't get him the ball, everyone else is kind of a crapshoot. So McGinnis goes to the line, makes the first. His first 2 points of the night. John Nelson will talk to Coach Martin post-game, get his thoughts and reaction on game 1 of the season. the many faces of Toby Martin tonight. Under 10.
Has had some.
Bond double teamed. Alexander, the runner, off the glass, and that's the ball game. So the Cardinals win it 81-75 over the Gophers to go 1-0 on the year. We're going to take a break. When we come back, stats and highlights. Stay with us. Well, the victorious MacArthur Cardinals tonight with a big win over Grand Prairie, 81-75. Let's go down to courtside to John Nelson with head coach Toby Martin.
Cards win at 81-75 with head coach Toby Martin. Coach, you played a lot of guys tonight, not because you wanted to, but because of the pace of the game, certain foul situations, and other things that you almost cleared the bench.
Yeah, we did. We put ourselves in a hole a little bit with some early fouls, and we've just got to get better. We've got to clean our defense up if we want to be successful from this point going forward.
What did you want to see out of this team tonight, especially from the seniors?
I want to see tenacity. I think we showed tenacity a little too much at times, but, you know, that's definitely something we've got to work on and talk about. We'll get back in and try to control emotion and understand that, you know, emotion is like fire. If you let it get out of control, it can burn an arena down. But if you can control it, it can, you know, it can work in your favor.
Well, you wanted a good start. You got it 23 points in the first quarter.
Yeah, we can do that, man. We're pretty good at getting out, running, shooting the ball pretty well. I was pleased on how we shot the ball. We got Eli going in the second half. I wish he could have continued to play, but, you know, that's how the dice roll sometimes.
Coach, one thing you can't be happy about, the technical fouls, 3 of them.
Yeah, we're going to address that about 6 a.m. in the morning.
They know it, don't they?
They know exactly what time it is.
All right, Coach, congratulations on the season opening win. It was a nice one.
All right, I appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you guys soon. Thanks.
All right, Coach, Rob, back to you.
All right, John, thank you very much. Coach Martin, boy, he was animated tonight. Fun just to watch him on the sidelines in this game against Grand Prairie High School. All right, let's talk a little bit about this ball game and the highlights of the ball game. First of all, Grand Prairie High School, and they were led by the 6'4" senior Kalen Bond. The slam there, he had over 30 points tonight. Great offensive putback right there, the one-hander crashing the boards offensively. He was matched, though, by Jones, and Jones, Mr. Senior, who could do it all. Look at the little feed there to Johnson. Nice assist. He also can shoot from the outside, the three-pointer. And then one more time to finish it off when they really needed him down the stretch in the second half. The drive to the hoop and the two-pointer to lead MacArthur in scoring. Scoring-wise, Bond with 36 points. What a great night. Harris had 14 before he fouled out. Alexander with 14, or with 11. Then Myers, Grant, Ocampo, and Salinas. Scoring for the Cardinals, Jones with 25. Cooper had 17. 10 of 10 from the free throw line. Booker with 15. Robert Johnson off the bench with 14. Eli Strange 6. Walker with 3. And McGinnis with 1. So that is week 1. And game number 1 here at Irving High School. The key here, they were 28 out of 34 from the free throw line. Very impressive for the Cardinals in winning this ball game. So they go to 1-0 on the season. And Coach Martin's got to be happy at least to get that win. We'll come back in a few weeks and get the Cardinals one more time. So a big win over Grand Prairie High School to start off the season. Well, that's going to do it from here. For John Nelson, I'm Rob Willman. Thanks for watching on the ICTN Game of the Week.
Irving Game of the Week has been brought to you in part by Gerald Stavely Dry Cleaning,